Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start this session. So today we will see how to draw the orthographic multi-view projection. So this is the module number 5 in your engineering graphics syllabus. So we have already seen what is meaning of orthographic projection in the beginning of the engineering graphics. So if you consider the graphical projection, then this is the broad classification. So this graphical projection is divided into two methods. One is a perspective projection and second is the parallel projection. So in the perspective projection, the image which is projected on the screen, which is behind the object, so that image size, it depends on the position of the observer from the given object. Okay, so as the observer changes the position, that is the distance with respect to the object, the image projected on the screen, its size, it will change. So that is called as a perspective projection. And in the parallel projection, we assume the observer, it is standing at the infinite position with respect to the object, and from that position, the projector lines which will pass through the visible outline of the object and projected on the screen, they are exactly perpendicular to the screen, and all the projector lines, they are parallel to each other. So the image projected on the screen is having the equal size as that of the visible outline of the object. Okay, so this is called as a parallel projection. So again, in the perspective projection, there are two types. One is a linear perspective and second is the aerial perspective. So as you can see in the image, and in the linear perspective, we have 1 point perspective, then 2 point perspective and 3 point perspective. Okay, so we are not going to cover this portion, that is a perspective projection. So this is not a part of your syllabus. In the parallel projection, there are again two types for the parallel projection. One is called as a oblique projection and second is the orthographic projection. So in the oblique projection, you can see here, we get the three-dimensional image for the given object on the screen. Okay, that means after projection, we will get the three-dimensional image. So this is called as a pictorial projection. Okay, and in the orthographic projection, we have two types. One is the axonometric projection and second is the multi-view projection. Okay, so this oblique projection and this axonometric projection, they are called as a pictorial projection. Okay, so in the oblique projection and in the axonometric projection, we will get the three-dimensional image after projection on the screen or on the plane which is behind the object. So again, in the axonometric projection, we have isometric projection, then diametric projection and trimetric projection. Okay, so in your syllabus, we have isometric projection and second is the multi-view projection. Okay, so what is multi-view projection? So multi-view orthographic projection, in this projection, we will observe the given object from different directions. So all these directions, they are orthogonal. That means they are exactly perpendicular to the plane. So we will observe the given object from the front view, that is from the front direction, then from the top direction and from the side direction. Okay, and then we will project the image on the screen. So because of this projection, which is orthogonal, we will get three different views. One is the front view. If you observe from the front direction, if you observe from the top direction, then we will get the top view for the object. And if you observe from the left side or from the right side, then we will get the left hand side view or right hand side view. Okay, so this is called as a multi-view projection. Okay, so in this session, we will cover the multi-view orthographic projection. So for your syllabus, we have only orthographic projection, and in the orthographic projection, we have multi-view projection, and second is the isometric projection. Okay, so on this screen you can see the broad classification for the projection. So what is meaning of parallel projection? So we have already discussed in the first lecture what is meaning of parallel projection. So parallel projection is a projection of an object in a three-dimensional space onto a fixed plane known as the projection plane. That means the fixed plane, we call this as a screen, or we can call this as a projection plane, where the rays, so these rays, they are called as a projection lines, are parallel to each other. So this is called as a parallel projection. So parallel projection means all the projector lines or projection lines that will pass through the visible outline of the object, they are exactly parallel to each other. In the parallel projection, the first type we have, it is the orthographic projection. So what is orthographic projection? So in this projection, all the projection lines, that is the projectors, are perpendicular to the projection plane. Okay, and in the oblique projection, the projector lines, they are inclined to the projection planes. So oblique projection is also called as a pictorial projection, because in the oblique projection, we will get the three-dimensional view of the given object, and therefore it is called as a pictorial projection or pictorial representation. Okay, so here you can observe the difference between the orthographic projection and the oblique projection. Okay, the second image, this is called as orthographic projection. So the observer is assumed to be standing at the infinite distance, and from that position, so in the orthographic projection, we assume the observer is at the infinite distance, and if the observer is looking at the object from that position, then all the projector lines that will pass through the visible outline, they are exactly parallel to each other, and they are perpendicular to the plane which is in front of the object or behind the object. Okay, so you can observe here, this is the plane and this is the three-dimensional object. So from this direction, we can only observe this rectangle, which is ABCD. Okay, so this will be the front view of the object. So if you observe the object from right side, then we can observe only this rectangle, that will be a side view. And if you observe from the top direction, then we will get this rectangle. Okay, so this is the top view. So what is difference between the oblique and orthographic? So here you can observe the oblique projection. So in the oblique projection, the projector lines, they are parallel to each other, but these projector lines, they are not perpendicular to the plane which is in front of the object or behind the object. Okay, so this is a projection plane. So these lines, they are inclined at 60 degree or at 30 degree. And therefore, after projection, we will get the pictorial view, that is a three-dimensional view. So this is the procedure, how we draw the orthographic multi-view projection. So imagine this is the position of the observer, and from this position, if you draw the projector lines from this visible outline, then they are exactly parallel to each other and they are perpendicular to this plane. And therefore, from the front direction, we can only observe this rectangle. So this is the image projected on the screen. And this is the oblique projection. So in the oblique projection, we will draw the projector lines by making the angle with respect to the plane. This is the projection plane. So this angle will be 60 degree. So similar to the orthographic projection, this front face, that is a rectangle. So we will get the same size after projection. Even for this rectangle on the back side, we will get the same size after projection. But these two faces which are perpendicular to this projection plane, okay, so this face and the right face, their shape will be distorted. Okay, we will not get the true shape after the projection. So you can observe here. So this is the distorted shape. Okay, and this projection, it will give the three-dimensional view of the given object, and this is called as a pictorial view. So this is difference between the orthographic projection and the oblique projection. So here, if you want, you can take the screenshot, difference between the orthographic and the oblique projection. So in the orthographic projection, again, we have the two types in syllabus. One is called as a multi-view projection. That means we will draw the front view, side view, and top view for the given object. And second projection, this is the isometric projection. Okay, so in the isometric projection, if the front view and top view given, or front view and side view for the given object is given, then from this view, we will try to draw the three-dimensional view. That is a pictorial projection. Okay, so basically the isometric projection is the reverse method compared to the multi-view projection. Okay, so let us see the procedure to draw the orthographic projection, that is a multi-view projection. So in the orthographic multi-view projection, the observer is assumed to be at the infinite distance from the object. So this is in a three-dimensional space. Then geometry visible from front, top, and side direction is projected on the horizontal plane, vertical plane, and the profile plane. So this projection, it will give the front view, top view, and the side view for the given object. So this is the multi-view projection. So why do we need multi-view projection? So multi-view projection, it will give the detailed representation of the 3D object on the 2D paper. Okay. So when any object or any machine part is to be manufactured in the industry, then for the manufacturer, they need the proper dimensions for the given object. Okay. So the drawing is prepared in the multi-view projection method, so that all the dimensions and all the shapes, they are exactly visible in the drawing sheet. Okay, so this is the use of multi-view orthographic projection. So let us see how to draw a multi-view projection for a machine component. So this is the given three-dimensional object. So for this object, the question is draw the orthographic views. So first is the front view in the X direction, then top view, and third is the LHSV, that is a left-hand side view. Okay. So this is given object, which is in a three-dimensional space. And from this object, we will prepare the multi-view projection, that is a multi-view orthographic projection. Okay. So we will draw the front view, side view, and the top view. So in example, this X direction, so it is always the front direction for the observer. Okay. So imagine that observer is viewing this object from this direction. So this will be the front view. From left side, the side view is visible. Okay, so we will draw the left hand side view, and this is the top view direction. Okay, so to start the orthographic projection, we will assume the object is located in the first quadrant. Okay, so we will only follow the first angle projection method. So for the first angle projection method, we assume the three-dimensional object in the first quadrant, okay, and it is resting on the horizontal plane. So this is the first angle projection method. So this is the direction for the front view. So from the front view, so we will try to project the visible outlines from the front direction. Okay. So this is the first geometry. So that will be one rectangle. So this rectangle, it will have the dimension, this 40 plus 75. So this is 115 mm. And height for this rectangle, so this is equal to 15 mm. Okay. Then second geometry that you can observe in the front direction. So this circle, so it is having the diameter 36 mm. And this is the outer circle. So it is having the diameter 50 mm. Okay. So basically this feature, it is the cylinder. But from the front view, we can just observe these two concentric circles, one having the diameter 36 and second having the diameter 50 mm. Okay. Then next we will observe this circle. So it is having the diameter 24 mm. And next we will observe this semicircle having the radius 20 mm and these two vertical lines. Okay. So these two vertical lines, they are having the height, this 30 minus 15, that is equal to 15 mm. Okay. And next geometry is these two inclined lines. So actually in the side view, we can observe this inclination, but in the front view, we will just observe two vertical lines. Okay, so this is the geometry which is visible in the front view. So to start the projection, you have to draw the XY line. So this horizontal line, this is the XY line, and this vertical line, it is the X1, Y1 line. Okay. Now for the reference, at 5 mm or at 10 mm distance from this vertical line and from this horizontal line, draw offset lines. Okay, so this is just for your reference. Okay, so these are two reference lines. You can take the distance 10 mm or 5 mm, take the equal distance, and similarly draw parallel lines to the XY line. Okay. And now next part is we have to select the proper quadrant for the front view. So front view, you can draw either in the first quadrant or in the second quadrant. Okay. But how to decide the correct position? So for that, we have to refer the side view direction. So for the given object, the side view which is visible, it is from the left side. Okay. So we will draw the left-hand side view. And for the first angle projection method, the left-hand side view is always drawn on the right side of the front view. Okay. And therefore, the front view we will draw in the second quadrant. So if you draw the front view in the second quadrant, then we can draw the left-hand side view on the right side. That will be in the first quadrant. Okay. But if you draw the front view in the first quadrant, then we cannot draw the side view, because side view, it will be on the right side. And therefore, select the position for the front view, that is your second quadrant. So you should draw the front view in this quadrant. This is the side view, that is the left-hand side view. And here you can draw the top view. Okay. Now to start the front view, we will draw one reference rectangle. So reference rectangle means what? If you observe from the X direction, that is your front view, then observe the maximum width and maximum height for the given object. Okay. So you can observe here the maximum length, this is equal to 40 plus 75. Okay. So up to this edge. And after this line, we have half portion of this cylinder. Okay. So for this half portion, the radius that is equal to 25 mm. So we will add 40 plus 75 minus 6. Minus 6 means what? This width is 12 mm. So subtract 6. So we will get the distance up to this center line. And then add this radius, that is equal to 25. So 40 plus 75 minus 6 plus 25. So this is the maximum width for the rectangle. Okay. And the maximum height, that is equal to from this edge up to this point. Okay. So this is 15 plus this is 65, that is 80 plus 25. So that is equal to 95. Sorry, 105. Okay. So this is the maximum height in the front view. So draw the rectangle here. So that will be a reference rectangle. So we should draw this by continuous thin line. Okay. So we will use the continuous thin line for the reference rectangle, then for the projection line. And continuous thick line, it is only used for the visible geometry in the front view, in the side view, and in the top view. So let us see how to draw that reference rectangle. So you should start that rectangle from this corner. So this is the reference rectangle. So it is having the width. This is 130. Okay, so you can check this dimension. 40 plus 75 minus 6 plus 25. And this height, this is 105. That is 15 plus 65 plus 25. Okay. Now to start the front view, you can start from the left corner. Okay. So from the left corner, if you observe here, so you can draw this rectangle. That is one visible geometry. Okay. So for this rectangle, your dimension will be 40 plus 75 and height is 15. So this is the rectangle. So this height is 15 and its width. So this is equal to 105. Sorry, 115. The next part is you can draw this circle and this semicircle. So this circle, its center, it is at distance 30 mm from this baseline, and from this corner, this is equal to 40 mm. So first take this distance, that is equal to 40 mm from this corner. Okay. And from this point, draw a vertical line at 30 mm. So you can draw one horizontal line that will give us the center for this circle. So this line, it is drawn at distance 30 mm. So you will get the center point. Now you can draw the circle and semicircle. So this circle, which is visible in the front view, so it is having the radius, sorry, diameter 24 mm. So this is given here 24 mm. And outer semicircle, so actually this line is not visible. So you have to just draw this semicircle arc and then draw vertical lines. Okay. So this is the front view for this feature. Now next we will observe these two circles. So for that, first locate this center point. So how you will locate the center point? So from this line, you can draw this center line at distance. So you have to find out that distance. So here you can observe this total is 75. So from 75, subtract this 6 mm. So that will be 69 mm. So from this line, take the distance 69 mm and draw a vertical line. So this will represent the axis line or the center line. Okay. And at 65 mm from this line, so this is the side of the rectangle, take the distance 65 mm. Okay, so this line is drawn at 65 mm from this line, and then draw circle of 36 and circle of 50 diameter. So this is 36 mm and this is 50 mm. Okay. Now here you can observe two features. So this is first and this is second. So basically these are called as a ribs. Okay. So this is the rib and this is also a rib. So rib is the part in the given object which will give the rigidity. So this is one support structure in the machine components. So for this rib, in the front view, we will just observe this inclined line. Okay, so this line will be tangent to this circle of 50 mm diameter and to this semicircle of radius 20. Okay, so draw one tangent line from this point up to this point. So these two vertical lines, they will represent the front view for this rib. So from this point, draw one vertical line and take distance 12 mm and draw second vertical line. And draw this tangent line that will represent this rib. So this is complete your front view. Now for the top view, again observe from the top direction, the reference rectangle with the maximum height and maximum width. So from the top view, the maximum height, this is equal to 70 mm. Okay. And the maximum width, so it is equal to 40 plus 75 minus 6 plus this distance, that is a 25 mm. So width will be same compared to the front view. Okay, only you have to observe the height that is equal to 70 mm. So you can draw this reference rectangle. So it is the same width compared to the front view. And this height, it is equal to 70 mm. Okay. Now to draw the top view, you can take the reference from the front view. Okay, so for the reference, you can draw the projector lines. So you can project this center line. Now, if you observe from the top direction, for this cylinder, you will just observe a rectangle from the top view. Okay, and therefore project these 2 points of this circle. Okay, so on this line, you will draw a straight line, and that will represent the side of the rectangle, which is visible in the top view. And these 2 lines, so basically these 2 lines, they will be hidden lines. So you can observe here. In the front view, you can observe the circle, but in the top view, you will observe 2 hidden lines for this cylinder. Okay, because this is a hollow cylinder. So this is a visible outline. And these are 2 hidden lines. Now next, take the projection from this point. So basically, this line, it will represent the side of the rectangle for this cylinder. Okay, so this is the line which is visible in the top view. So this line, it is for the second edge of the rectangle. So this edge will extend up to this rib, and then we have to draw this horizontal line. So this line, it is the top view for this rib. Okay. So do not extend this line up to this edge. Okay, because this line, it is tangent to this circle. Okay. Now project this inner circle. So in the top view, you will observe the hidden lines. So basically this is circular hole So draw these lines by dash lines. Okay. And then draw this vertical line and you have to draw this fillet. Okay. So I have already explained how to draw the fillet. So basically this is a tangent arc. So draw this fillet having the radius 10 mm and then draw vertical line. Okay, so this is your complete top view. Okay, so here you can observe in a 3 dimension the given object. So here you can observe the given object from different directions. So direction perpendicular. So this is the front view. Okay, so from the front view, so this is the projection from the front view. So this is the front view. Then top view. So this is the top view. So for the top view, this cylinder, so it will appear as a rectangle. Even this cylinder will appear as a rectangle. Okay. This rib, it will appear as a rectangle. And again, this rib, it will appear as a rectangle. Okay. So this is the actual top view. So you can observe here, there are some hidden lines. So these 2 hidden lines, they are for the hollow cylinder. And these 2 hidden lines, they are for the rib. Okay. So in 3 dimension, you can observe. So these 2 edges, they are hidden from the top view. Okay. So if you observe from the top direction, then these 2 edges will be hidden. So this is first hidden edge and this is second hidden edge for the rib. And here you can observe the hidden edges. So they are for the hollow cylinder. And this side view, it is visible from this side. Okay, so this is a left hand side view. So this is your left hand side view. So in the left hand side view, again, there are hidden edges or hidden lines. So you can observe hidden lines. So these 2 hidden lines, they are for the hollow cylinder. Again, these 2 hidden lines, they are for the hollow cylinder.